Hello, welcome to the studio. Yes, we are live here from beautiful Derbyshire here in the UK. Thank you for joining me on the YouTube channel. It's been a while since we've done a live demonstration on this channel, so I thought we'd enjoy it. And, you know, this channel's been doing really well, so a big thank you to everyone that's supported me on this channel over the past however many years. We've finally got the silver play button, 100,000 subscribers. Actually, now we've got 160,000. If you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe to the channel right now and hit that notification bell, because there's all sorts of stuff happening. There's pretty much stuff every week on this channel, so do make sure you pop that on. And also hit that like button as well. We've got about 65 to 70 people that are currently with me live, so do make sure you give us a like. Let's try and get those likes a little bit higher if we can. So yes, we are live, so who knows what's going to happen. We are ready to go through this watercolour demonstration, but before we do that, I'd just like to sort of mention, I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody that is a member of the channel. Yes, you can join and support this YouTube channel by becoming a channel member. There's various levels of channel membership. You can just simply donate to the cause, buy Matthew a coffee, you can become an artist apprentice. So there's lots of different ways to join and become a member of this channel, of this YouTube channel. It just basically keeps the lights on, keeps the paint flowing. Let's just have a look at the current members. There's about 70 members at the minute, so we can see here all the names coming down the side of the screen. So big thank you if your name's on this list. Big thank you for being a supporter. You can be an artist apprentice, you can be an artist in residence, you can buy Matthew a coffee. These all have different perks, arty perks if you like. So a big thank you to all of the channel members. And we're getting up towards the 75, 80 people watching now, so do make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit the subscribe. If you want to find out more about the channel membership, very simply, you can just click. There should be a big button at the bottom that says join. But if you look in the description for this video down below, you should see all the current links for everything that we're talking about throughout this. But we are ready to go. Now what we've got is a sheet of watercolour paper. Now this is a relatively small sheet of watercolour paper. What I've done is I've got this stuck on all four sides with a good quality masking tape. All the products, every product that we have, whether it's over here, let's move that cling film out of the way. There you go. Just stay over there. That was cling film on the camera, not Vaseline. all the products, whether it's paint products or brushes or whatever, paper, Watercolour TV. Let's say that these are the channel sponsor. Watercolour TV sponsor this, and they are a great place to go and purchase all your art materials and book workshops and great stuff. We've actually got a bit of a special offer for you folks up until midnight on the 19th of August. The 19th of August 2025, you can get 10% off anything on watercolour.tv, products, workshops. And I'm just going to show you this and then we'll crack on, because this is important. This coupon code which you use on checkout will give you 10% off. Here it is. So this code that you can see here, 10OFF, that'll give you 10% off anything, any art shop purchases, any workshop purchases, any painting retreats. The only thing it doesn't work on is memberships. It does end UK time midnight on the 19th of August 2025. So if you're watching it afterwards, then sorry, you missed out. But honestly, 10% off, great deal. Do take advantage of that. It's a no-brainer, right? So that's all the W's, watercolour.tv. Links are in the description. Let's crack on. Let's crack on. We're going to start off with a bit of sketching. Actually, we're going to sketch in a little bit of a vignette. I've got a ruler. I've got a 2B pencil, 2B or not to be. I'm going to do a bit of sketching here. So we're going to paint a bit of a summery garden. I think that'd be quite nice. So we're going to start off very simply by sketching in a nice fence post, which is going to consist of 3 lines to start with. So a nice fancy fence post. So three pencil lines, like so. Just vertical. We can get a bit closer in, I think it'll be a good idea. And then at the top of this, we're going to have the line that runs across the top, like that. We're going to make it look a little bit more fancy, this fence post, what we might have done in the past. So we're going to have a little bit of a fancy bit of detail on this thing. So I'm just using a pencil to sketch this in. Feel free to sketch along or wait till the sketch is done. You can do a screen grab if you want to have a go at this. And then on the top, we're going to put a triangular cap. Make sure that's central. So we'll have a nice little bit of a cap on the centre there like that. So a fancy little white fence post with, of course, a line down the middle like that. So that's going to be the main post of this sketch. And then we're going to have some of the posts running across towards the side. So I'm just going to use my ruler here and just do a little hint of a weak pencil line going off like that. Quite an important line. Notice I've not put a huge amount of pressure on the pencil there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to sketch in. I'm just going to use this rubber / eraser. I call them rubbers because I'm English. Is that right? Rubbers mean different things in different parts of the world, right? I'm going to put a double line. We're going to come in with a line that goes down, another one that goes down like that. Leave a bit of a gap. I'm just going to put a little bit of a line there. Those little diagonal lines are quite important, so I know what they actually are. Hopefully you'll see my logic in this as we go through. So I'm just going to work my way along doing these parallel lines. A couple of diagonal lines coming down. Might have 3, maybe 4. Probably 3 would be enough, to be honest. Yeah, 3 will be fine. We're going to come down with those little diagonal lines. Those diagonal lines tell me that that's the post and that's the bit behind the post. Then we're going to make sure we've got the centre of these. And we're going to sketch in a bit of an apex. Make sure it is central. Doesn't really matter too much on a fence, I suppose, but there we are. So that's basically like an old rustic fence post. And then we can add a bit of width to this. We can add some width to it. Add a bit of width. Stick a bit of width on your post. Beautiful. Beautiful. You can see the logic. Where's your light coming from? Good question, Albert. Somewhere up here. Someone's left kitchen light on. Now that is perfect. Now at the back of this we're going to have flowers and trees and all sorts of cool stuff, but that is enough for us to put some paint to paper. Just going to use a little bit of a razor to whip away any pencil lines that we don't want there. So that's going to be the old fence. We're going to have flowers at the back and maybe trees, whatever, you know, we can create this to whatever we like. The actual paper itself, 7 inches by about 5. We do sell this paper on Watercolour TV, so do check that out. Remember, you can use code 10OFF to get 10% off. Yes, we're going to be using this now. This is something I'm very proud of. This is Watercolour Magic Mask. Now, what Watercolour Magic Mask is, it's a very, very high-end version of masking fluid. But the difference with Magic Mask to normal masking fluid is it doesn't destroy your brushes. Comes in a lovely little tempered glass bottle. Give it a shake. Give it a good shake like this. I see when I'm out driving around the countryside, you know, I see people taking the masking fluid and doing this, and all I can think to myself is that, oh, it's Matthew Palmer. Let's shake some masking fluid at him. Give your masking fluid a bit of a shake, and then, because you'll notice that the colour sort of sinks to the bottom, this is masking fluid on steroids, basically. It is beautiful stuff, folks. You will enjoy using this. It really is nice stuff. It's heat proof. It doesn't stick to your brushes. It comes off easy. You can leave it on there for literally weeks and weeks without it ripping. Traditional drawing gum, masking fluid, Pebia, whatever you want to call it, can destroy brushes. It can rip your paper. This doesn't do that. This is good stuff, and it's about £5 a bottle. It's cheap. Remember, you can use that code as well to get 10% off. It does come. It's exclusive to Watercolour TV. It's something that we've designed and are quite proud of. So I'll take the lid off. It protects areas, keeping them nice and white. It's really nice stuff. And what I want to do is I want to protect this area. Now, I'm actually going to be using a really good brush for this. I'm going to be using one of the Watercolour TV brushes that we sell. Now, I wouldn't normally recommend that you use a good brush for masking fluid, but because this is not masking fluid, this is Magic Mask, it comes off with much more ease, let's say. So I've got a piece of kitchen paper here, beautiful. A bit of water on the brush, just make sure it's clean, and then we're just going to use this. And we're going to put this on. It's also coloured. It's like a lovely turquoise colour, so you can actually see it. And if there's one thing I've learnt in life, it's important to know where you stick it, yeah? And that is exactly what we're talking about right here. Do you know what I want to do with this, actually? I'm just going to grab a pencil, one sec. Just going to pop in a little bit of a post across. There you go. Could be a gate, could be a fence, whatever. Now, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about leaving me masking fluid on my brush for a while, because end of the day it doesn't really matter, to be honest. If you left it on there for hours, it would obviously stick to your brush, but you can just pick it off. It just peels off. It's lovely stuff. It's a modern version of a traditional masking fluid, and without the fear of it going off. I'm going to rotate the board. It's exclusive to Watercolour TV as well. While we're doing this, a big shout out to channel members that are watching live. So Jill Lloyd, you're a channel supporter. Thank you for being a member of the YouTube channel. Don't get mixed up with Watercolour TV membership. That's something different. This is just supporting the YouTube channel. So a big thank you to Jill Lloyd. Jackie Pullen Warner, you've been a supporter of the channel for a long time now. So thank you for that little donation every month into the tip jar. Sue Fagan and Rachel, you're all supporters of the YouTube channel. Remember, you can join. You get exclusive content every so often. You get little highlights in the chat, little icons next to your name. Some of you can see in the live chat there, little icons and various things. So it's all really good stuff. Now, if this was normal masking fluid, I would have been panicking about washing my brushes, but because it's not, I'm happy to plod on. Normally after about a minute with traditional masking fluid, I would say, you know, wash your brushes, but here we don't need to be too concerned about that because of the nature of the beast. So, and a little bit goes a long way. You buy a bottle of Magic Mask, it'll last you ages. And eventually it'll obviously either run out or it'll go off, but it'll last years probably, to be honest. And why do we use this? Well, what it does is it keeps areas of your paper white, and in watercolour, white is pretty much the paper. For things like this, it makes perfect sense. It really does. Beautiful. Now what I want to do, now that's in there, that's protected. Nice colour, isn't it? Now that's in there, I've not washed the brush. That's had a good 2 or 3 minutes. I'll now give the brush a bit of a rinse in the water. And then what I'll do is I'll simply just wipe it off, and look, there's nothing. It's amazing. There's nothing stuck to the brush. It's brilliant. It's honestly, it just takes the masking fluid to another level. You'll enjoy using it. What I'd like to do though is just put a little bit more of this out, some flowers maybe. Possibly at the back, maybe some foxgloves or something, sneaking up to little dots at the top, and these gradually get bigger. You know, foxgloves have been and gone as of sort of June this year, but I do like painting foxgloves. There's something nice about them. Some white ones, because you get lovely pink ones as well. Does anybody use Magic Mask? Let me know in the comments if you've been a user of it. So I've masked those off as well. You can just about make those out, just coming down the edge there. Doesn't always show that well on camera, but it is, trust me, it's there. Trust me, I'm an artist. Let's do another one of those. Just come in, little dots at the top to larger flicks coming down. All this will come off, and the area that's protected will be perfectly white. Ideal for what you want today. I'm just going to do a few little random dots and spots around here as well. Just do some little spots with the tip of the brush there, just to give an extra level of something. Some little white flowers, or whatever we call them. Just coming down there. Little bits down here as well, that'd be quite nice. So I've protected all that area. Now, normally masking fluid, you wouldn't want to be using a heat gun or a hairdryer because it's made from latex. This does contain latex, I should mention that. But this will repel heat quite nicely. So over here, I'm just going to go and jump over there. I've got a heat gun. Not so we need it, but it's about 25 degrees in the studio. We've got a heat gun slash hairdryer. Give it a quick dry. I always think this looks a bit suspicious on camera because I'm doing that, drying it. It's a bit dodgy on camera, doesn't it? But you know, with drying. What's your like camera say? This is a proper heat gun as well. The audio is distorted because I've got the heat blowing out. And just so you know, this microphone does actually get rid of background noise, and this is kind of treated as background noise. People often say to me, Matthew, what's that thing you use? That long black gadget that you dry your pictures with? It's just an art and craft heat gun. We don't sell them, but you get that off Amazon, probably, I imagine, or Hobbycraft, those sort of places will sell them. That's nice and dry. Amanda Wheatgram, you're a supporter. Hi to you. Thank you for being a channel member. In fact, I think you was the first ever channel member, so thank you for your support there. And you put that you love Magic Mask. It's so easy to use and remove. Exactly, it is. And when we come to take this off a little bit later, you'll see that for yourself. We've got 100 people watching live. Thank you for joining in and watching me live today. Do please make sure you subscribe. We need subscribers, and probably more important, hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you want to donate to the channel but you don't want to be a member, because I've had an email from somebody asking that question, you can very simply donate on the super chat. The super chat is where you can pop like £1, couple of dollars, couple of pence, whatever. It's at the bottom of your chat and you click on there and it's called a super chat. Also a super thanks as well is basically what it is. So you can do that should you want to. Exciting stuff. Let's get some paint to paper, shall we? Brushes. What brushes we're going to use? Well, I'm going to be using the Watercolour TV Essentials. The Essential brushes. Now, these are a set of 3 inexpensive brushes. That doesn't mean that they're poor quality. They're not. They're nice. I love using these. These are not on par with Sables or Super Points, but these are a good starting point. They're like 15 quid for 3. They're really nice brushes. These are exclusive sets to Watercolour TV. You get a 12, a 6 and a 1. We're going to be using those for this. That'll be ideal, really. And very simply, I want to start off, I've got all my colours. We'll talk about paints as we progress through the actual demo. I want to start off with a size 12, which is the largest one of the fine tips. Let's just basically wet the entire sheet of paper here. That's all nice and dry, so we can just chuck water straight at it. And I'm wetting the paper. That's always a good starting point for any watercolour, whether it be a sky or whatever. We're going to do like a close-up of a little country garden kind of scene here. So all nicely covered, like so. Now that's got a lot of water on there. The paper is my own branded paper. It's cotton. It's good stuff. You can't go too far wrong with it, really. It's really nice. Premium quality. You can see the water shining, can't you? Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine, lad. And then colours, I'm going to be using the natural greens. There's 3 natural greens. All my colours are designed to replicate nature. I'm going to be using some of those. So Matthew Palmer's natural watercolour paints are well-established colours. Been around for a long time, like me. And they're designed to replicate nature, like me. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to drop in a bit of yellow. Natural yellow light, lovely primary colour. Let the paint just spread. You can see already you can clearly see how the masking Magic Mask is repelling. It's repelling the colour. Look, it's just like wax. Now that comes off, that peels off. It's wax that you can remove. Beautiful. Clean brush. We're then going to go for the greens. Natural green light. Beautiful lime, springtime green. Gorgeous colour. These aren't colours These aren't greens that are made from green pigments. These are made from primary colours and various other pigments. That's what makes these quite special. So that's natural green light. We'll bring that in. Beautiful. Make sure we cover all the flowers. That's the light green. Going from yellow to green. So we're gradually working his way into the realms of darkness. We're going to go for natural green medium. This is the new addition to the range, natural green medium. Again, colours that look like greens that you see outside. The light green, natural green light, now natural green medium. Beautiful set of watercolour paints. The medium green is particularly a favourite of mine. If you want to just buy one, get that one, because it's such a useful colour. Get plenty of that colour just whizzing around here. And you can see how the paper is spreading the colour. And it's still wet because the paper is made out of cotton. This is Matthew Palmer's own branded paper. It's basically designed to stay wet for as long as it possibly can, which is quite important. Is it me or is it moist? Do you know what I'm saying? Let's go a little bit darker, just a touch, just a smidge, nothing too major. And for this, we can bring in the darker green, natural green. Dark, which as the name suggests is the darkest one of all of the greens. We'll take that one from here and you'll see a clear difference. So this is natural green dark. Formerly just used to be called natural green, but now it's called natural green dark. A little bit of a tap on tissue, and then we'll just make sure we get plenty of dark in between some of this masking fluid here, because that's really what we want. We want darkness, don't we? We want darkness. Again, allowing your paint to spread and be at one. Betsy enjoys the new green. Thank you, Betsy Ensley. Amanda says you've just got the new brushes and you're actually quite surprised how quality they are for the price. Yeah, they are, and they're just, you know, budget brushes, but they work well. They work really well. I'm quite pleased with them. I've been using them for quite a while. If you want to go for the Rolls Royce, the Rolex, you go for the Super Point brushes, which you can get on Watercolour TV. You can pre-order them because we're waiting for new batches of them coming in. Currently being made, all made by hand, so it takes a while for them to appear. But that's going to give us a lovely background explosion of colour. I'm looking forward to getting some paint onto that and some colour, which we're going to be doing very, very shortly. Can't go wrong, really. Sue Lee, thank you, Sue. Listen, Sue, you're a star, Sue, because what Sue's just done. Sue Lee. Hello, Sue. You've just dropped in a £5 super chat donation for the purposes of keeping the YouTube channel alive. Thank you. Because us creators don't really get anything for doing YouTube. You know, it's kind of just a voluntary thing. But thank you, Sue, for popping the donation in. It means a lot. £5 from Sue Lee, and you're a channel member as well. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. Back to this. Let's just get a little bit more. It's starting to dry. I mean, look at the point of that brush. It's pointless having a brush that's not pointed. Otherwise, it's pointless using it. Does that make sense? Probably not. Probably not. Bringing in little bits of this darkness. I'm not going to go too dark just yet, but we shall be going darker as we progress. I'm jittering. Oh, yes, I am. I'm jittering around the picture here to get plenty of colour around the painting. I want it to be all present and correct, and plenty of darkness. I'm just going to be a little bit cheeky here and bring a little bit of natural grey. Natural grey is the #1 colour. Very important to have natural grey at your disposal. The reason is because it's the colour of actual shadow. So natural grey is the shadow colour, very important one. We'll take a little bit of that. Same brush, size 12, sorry. Just going to bring a little bit of darkness in, just to get right into some of these areas, because that's going to really make things pop forward. We're starting to think shadows here, and even in a cottage garden you're going to be seeing shadows and all sorts of things like that. So that's going to go really in to those areas. Brilliant. I love how the paint's still wet. It's great. I love it. Really effective. Super. Okay, now that needs a little bit of time to dry, so I'm going to reach over here and grab the hair dryer. Again, just kind of off screen there. I'm all kicking off. Look. Hair dry. Now, if that's not watching paint dry, I don't know what is. So that's all dry. Before we take the fluid off, I just want to put some background stuff in. And for this, I'm just going to change brushes. I'm going to go for the slightly smaller one. So we've just used the size 12 Watercolour TV Essential. We'll pop that to one side. We're then going to be using the size 6, which is the medium. And I want to get some dark greens and things in, so I'm going to be using natural green medium. Remember, these are the greens here. And don't forget to take advantage. We've got a discount that's running here. We've got this discount code, which is 10 off 10OFF, which you can use on Watercolour TV until midnight UK time on the 19th of August 2025. So take advantage of that if you're watching live. If you like any of the colours, or maybe you'd like to join me on a virtual painting workshop. In fact, tomorrow, which is the 15th of August, I'm actually doing a workshop. This is one we did recently of butterflies on flowers. Let's take a look on the main camera here. Tomorrow I'm doing a workshop, part 1 of 2, if you like. We've got a few spaces left. So Friday the 15th of August, tomorrow, as we live, we're going to be painting a colourful dragonfly on reeds by a pond in watercolours. This is a double offer where you can basically save yourself a few pounds. So it'll be £20 for the 2 workshops. You're going to do the dragonflies on the right of your screen now, and on the left top corner we're going to be doing the majestic red kite. We're going to sketch it, we're going to paint it. The sketch will be downloadable, so you can sort of trace it if you want to. The dragonflies on the 15th, the red kite is on the 24th. It's a one-off. These are normally £12 each. You get them both for 20, which is quite nice. So I'm using the medium green here. I love this colour. I've got the just look how pointy that brush is. I mean, come on. I mean, that is literally like a pinprick, isn't it, on the end? Can you see? They're lovely, aren't they? Aren't they nice? So you can work in between some of these grasses here, and you can bring in some lovely little bits of, without having to worry, because essentially you've protected the area. You can do the little foxgloves here, green side of them, that is, the stems of them, and the masking fluid will help those to stand out. I'm using natural green medium for this, which is that colour right there, and I'm just going to basically just get plenty of darkness in and around, put lots of little dots and spots. So this will become the focal point. We're going to put flowers and all sorts of stuff on this, so do bear with us. It'll grow on you. Trust me, I'm an artist. Can't go wrong. So imagine these are the little flowers at the back there. We'll get a few more going up here. So imagine these are just a bit of a still life. You know, I love painting these kind of vignettes, these out of focus backgrounds. I love painting that sort of thing. And I'm just using, what is that? This random stalk thing just randomly appears. Honestly, it baffles me. It's one of the buttons on this switchy box. How do we get him off? Don't know how we get him off. There he is. What I meant to do is put the palette on. There it is. Press the wrong button. I've had a week off. You can forgive me. We need to give him a name, that stalk. His Stanley the Stork. Any ideas? Is it even a stork? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. The best comment wins a prize. The best name for the stork. So all mind boggles, eh? It's 5 AM in the US. Betsy, very keen. Are you enjoying the morning peace? The workshop starts at 10 AM tomorrow. There's a question just come through on the live chat. You'll be getting some information sent on email later this afternoon for those people that book. So basically, it's yours to keep. The workshops, once you buy them, they're yours forever. I'm just going to dilute the colour, the green, go really light with it. Yeah, so basically, once you purchase a workshop, they're yours to keep forever. You buy them through Watercolour TV. It's free to create an account on Watercolour TV. You ain't got to be a member or anything like that. And once you're on there, you're on there. And you can basically log in and go to my purchase workshop menu, and it's there for you to keep. I like getting up early in the morning. It's just so peaceful, you know. We recently had a break in Centre Parks in Sherwood Forest, which is not that far from where we live. We just come back from a weekend there, and I was up at 6 AM, sat outside, beautiful sunshine in the forest, having a coffee. Brilliant, really peaceful. No wasps. Look at that lovely burst of colour that we've created. Beautiful. So I want to bring in some more colour as well as some darkness, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back to the palette, and we're going to take some of the grey, a little bit of grey, not too much, just a smidge, because what I want to do is I want to tuck in some darkness just ever so gently down this edge here. We did put some magic mask down there. I'm also just going to put a little bit just coming down in between some of the fence posts here, just a touch of darkness. This is just a few little random sort of spots of grey, and literally this is going right next to the masking protection, the magic mask. Again, I keep saying masking fluid because I've been using that for years, but magic mask is just a improved version of it with properties that mean it doesn't stick to your brushes, or it doesn't rip your paper, or it doesn't bake on with heat, those sort of things. So I'm just using a bit of water here as well, just give it a little bit of a tap away. So I'm just giving it a softness, giving it a bit of a feathery kind of vibe. So that's probably got enough in there. Just going to do a little bit of darkness down here, just at the bottom there. I'm back to the green there, by the way, so I've got the green on. Just give that a bit of a feather out. Might even just rob some of the light green, natural green light, which I used in the background, just to bring a little bit of extra lime kind of colour coming through. I'm sort of spotting the brush all over the paper here, which is really nice. Now I'm ready to take off the fluid in a minute. I'm just going to take some natural red, beautiful primary colour. If anybody is interested in doing one of the virtual workshops, and we've been doing them for nearly 6 years now, we just use primary colours, red, yellow and blue. White paint's useful to have on standby. We've got some natural red here. I'm going to pop a few little bits of flowers. I'm keeping the main flowers in the background white, but I'm just going to bring a few little bits of pink around for whatever they may be. Just some sort of flowers. It makes sense to put these in now because red, if I get a bit closer in for you so you can see better, red complements greens massively. Really nice to get a bit of red at the back there. It just kind of makes perfect sense to me to bring red in. So bringing in a few little bits. Just little sort of dots around the background. Very pale colour. Just little spotty dots, random bits, and again just using the one brush here. There we go. So it's quite a nice looking area. Get some of those behind the picture, behind the fence. We'll get some in front a bit later, but we'll sort of do that as we get towards the end of the demo. So just bring in a few little bits of spots and dots around here. And that red's very transparent, so it'll just settle into your picture quite nicely. I'm just going to bring a little bit of medium green around the foreground. Starting to fill things up a little bit, you see. Nice. So I think we're ready to take off the fluid, but I just want to give it a little bit of one sort of final blast with the dryer before we start to work on the detail bits. That's lovely and dry. That's really dry. And the prize for the name of the random stalk that is built into this live switching box that I use, it's when I accidentally hit the button for chroma key, this comes up because it's built into the system. His name is Stalky, and thank you to Amanda Giles for giving him a name. Cheers, Stalky. It's been a pleasure. Right, bugger off. Now back to this. We're going to remove the fluid. You can use your finger, or if you want to be posh. Oh, I love being posh. You could use your rubber / eraser. Whip it off. Whip it off. It comes off. Look at that. It comes off so easily. Just glides off the page. You can see it coming off. Or, I've mentioned, if you don't mind a slightly sore finger, you do that. It's also nice because it doesn't remove the pencil as much. Some of the drawing gums have passed. You can use it with pastels, use it with acrylics and all various things. So you don't have to worry too much about using rubbers and things to take it off. I mean, it does help. Look how nice that's come off. Clean and smooth. All the little bits that we've used to take it off with. Push them onto the studio floor, knee deep in it. And that's what Magic Mask is. Now at this point, you could have a moment tidying things up, adding a little bit of final bits of sharpness. So I'm going to be using some natural grey, just a little bit. And I want to go in just to bring in a little bit of darkness here and there. So just a few little smidges of dark just coming down the edge of there. I'm not going to do too much. I want this to have, I want it to look like a rustic fence. I don't want to give it too much clarity, so I don't want to go too crazy with it. So I'm just going to go in quite straightforward before I start to bring some of those final little shadows into it, make that fence post look 3D. But you can see how the flowers are looking. They're looking quite nice. It's very satisfying rubbing it, says Amanda. Yeah, it is. Pardon the pun. I know what you're saying. Let's use the water. Very diluted, natural grey. Because I want to drop in a couple of little shadows on these flowers. Just to take off some of the harsh white. A few shadows here and there. So that's a very pale natural grey. It's going to put those natural little shadows inside the flowers, which you would expect to see. And even a little bit of shadow coming across here. So imagine your lights kind of coming in, probably from this way. You'd imagine a few little bits of dappled light and things around here. And that shadow starts to creep into the fence as well. So little diagonal lines of shadow, basically. Almost like little dappled bits of grey that just kind of cast along. But then that grey would creep into this. We shall be going darker with this, but we'll start off light. And rotate the board a tricky bit, because I want to get a line of shadow coming all the way down this edge. Natural grey, small brush, whatever brush size you're comfortable with. Doesn't really matter, does it, to be honest? Bring it down. And that will just go up. Clean brush, just water, that's all. A couple of little taps to remove the excess. 2 taps on tissue. And then get your water in just to give it a smooth out. So can you see how that's made that look a little bit more 3D? I do want to go a little bit stronger with the colour, just a smidge darker. Not too much, but a little bit darker. Notice the wipe on the edge of the palette, always quite a useful little thing to do there. And then what we'll do here, rotate the board again. Let's get the little shadows coming down from here. We'll go down there. So a lovely pointy brush. We'll also drop one in as opposed to drop one out. It's not the first time on this demo. Bring it down. And down there. I want to go a little bit darker down here as well. I just want to make sure that the bottom of this thing looks really dark. It will get covered up by flowers. Bit of water just from the water pot there, and just use a bit of water just to smudge it. Using natural grey as opposed to Payne's grey. A lot of people will think, oh, I use Payne's grey. It's too black and it's too permanent. This is a soft grey that allows us to work. It allows us to go in and scrub the paint. You can literally blend the paint across, which is exactly what you want it to do. You want it to look soft and feathery on the edge. And get that effect of a lovely little sort of shadow casting against the fence. You can see what we're doing, can't you? We're doing more shadows. We're going to add more shadows as we progress with natural grey. So I would expect there to be a lovely shadow, quite a dark one at that, underneath here. And also along there. Bit of water. I'm going to mould this thing and give it some shape. So you can see how the detail's starting to come through in bits and pieces. Nothing too precious. Slightly stronger with the grey, so a little bit deeper. Having natural grey ready to go is lovely. It's made from primary colours. The workshops that we do, like the one tomorrow, the Dragonfly one, we won't be using any greys. We'll just use primary colours. Make sure that's blocked in. Bit of water, a couple of taps. Back to the first one. Make sure you've put enough paint on to blend as well. So if you look at that now, you can hopefully see how that looks, although it's behind. I'm going to use this grey, this darker one, to make things a bit crisper in places. Also to square off the top of the fence a little bit. The posts, sharpen up, because that would be squared off there. Does that make sense? So it would be, albeit point, it would be slightly squared off at the top. Push it all in. Let's make sure things are looking quite crisp at this point. I do want to make sure that this has got a lovely darkness underneath here. I want to darken some of these corners just a little bit more. Just giving things a little bit extra contrast. Basically going in with a real dark colour. And then with a damp brush blending them in. But can you see how using a darker colour all of a sudden is making things look a little bit crisper? A little bit more definite. giving them that extra little bit of clarity. Especially at the bottom of that gate there, that fence. I expect that to be really quite dark up there. There you go. I love the little grey shadow, I think it's lovely. If you think it's too dark with the water, tone it in. All makes sense. Just going to go in. Make sure things are really dark where they need to be. So everything's getting a lovely bit of shadow. We're starting to bring the detail into this picture. Let's come back a little bit with the camera. Listen, there's 65 likes and about 120 watching, so give us a like, give us a subscribe. Might as well. It doesn't cost you anything. One of the few free things in life. Getting things real crisp here. A lovely point on it. I'm just basically enhancing the contrast of everything. I do want to make sure I'm basically going to use the brush to create an edge. A sharper edge. And even start to add some little bits of, if we get really close into this, starting to add little bits of just what we call dry brush, which is skimming the paper and putting little bits of almost like little lines and areas of little knots and things in the wood, and I've got very little on the brush as I do this, but it's making it all look just that little bit crispy, you know. Makes it look a little bit more like a wooden. Even just a thin line going across there. It's almost like whizzing around with a pen, but with paint. Just going to do a little bit of water just to tickle that edge a bit. There you go. So you can see at the top of the post, you see, for the first time, which is lovely. I'm even going to do a little bit of a little sort of old rusty bolt kind of vibe. There we go. So making use of the grain of the paper here. It starts to give it some character, doesn't it? Beautiful. I'm just going to turn that over because I want to get a straight edge. A few little lines, little flicks. Nice. That's got a lovely little bit of character. If you like your detail, which I'm sure some of you do, on some of the lower flowers, I'll also be doing a little bit of a C shape to represent the insides. Of the foxgloves. Very important. Hello to Pete. Pete Loss has joined us. Hope you're well. Pete's doing the workshop for the kite, aren't you? You sent me a message about it. So, you know, if you want to have a go, I mean, it's very much a casual step-by-step workshop. I've been teaching workshops, feels like my whole life. in-person workshops since the late 90s, virtual workshops since COVID. The virtual ones are very popular. The Red Kite workshop, like I say, it's coming up on the 24th. You can buy both. We've got limited numbers left, so you can actually book in for both should you want to. Choice is yours. Just do the one, of course, if you want to. So Dragonfly tomorrow, the 15th of August, and then 24th. You book it very easily by going to the website, all the W's, watercolour.tv, and then right at the top of the home screen when it loads up, you'll see a big button with a countdown. There's the countdown, look. So in 19 hours, that's when the workshop of the Dragonfly takes place. But if you click here, this big button at the top that's flashing at you, that'll take you to the page you can book the upcoming one. And the offer at the minute is double workshop, 15th of August or the 24th of August. Well, and you get both of them for £20. It's great. If you want to just do a single one, then just go to the workshop and come down to live virtual workshops, and that's where you can book the upcoming workshop. You've got the 15th of August, the Dragonfly, and then you've got the Red Kite. You can even buy blocks of 5. You can even go, this is really cool, you can actually go onto the workshops and have a look at all the past 5.5 years worth by going to previous live workshops. You can have a scroll down. The one we did last time, a couple of weeks ago, was a favourite of mine. It was the scene of Venice. It's all broken down into step-by-step detail. Every little brush stroke is there for you. We're not rushing, it's not a demo. It takes time to do it, you know. You get a downloadable drawing. There's even an after workshop critique session, but the big thing is about these workshops is that you do not have to do it live. If you want to do it at a later stage, yours to keep. You keep it forever. And remember, until the midnight 19th of August, you've got 10% off. Coupon code at checkout, 10 off, 10OFF, 10% off everything. The art shop, the workshops, the past workshops, the paper, everything has got 10% off with that code. Take advantage of it. Back to this, we're getting towards the lovely little bits of flowers that we're going to put in. I'm just putting in little lines and cracks and various things here just to give it a bit of detail. That's looking really nice. I'm pleased with it. Let's come back a little bit with the camera here. I love that little shadow there. I want to do more of that. I like a bit of a shadow. You can't beat a good shadow, can you? You know, when it comes down to it. And we're going to drop in some more little beautiful bits of shadows and various things. So I'm going to be using a very watered down natural grey. We'll do it there. Very watery, pale grey. We're going to put some flowers and detail and things on here. It's going to be good. Stay with this. We're going to put some little bits of grey around here. Little bits cast over the bottom of the fence, as you'd imagine. A few little bits of cast shadows. Be confident painting them in, like so. That's quite effective. I love the little flowers that we've got coming through there. Let's come back to natural green medium. Same brush. I'm using this number 6 brush, and I was going to pop in a few little bits of flower, little bits of grasses and things growing up in front of the fence. Little random flicks. Doesn't want much. It just helps it to calm down. Sort of sits it all down in your picture. Just a few little blades, a few individual sort of blades of grass, which suits the vignette massively. I would use some of the darker green there just to give variation as well. I've got some there, not too much of that. Tap on tissue, just control the flow of your brush. A few little individuals creeping down here. It's almost like you're putting shadows in because you've got a shadow green. Little spots and dots around. It just helps to sit it down, do you know what I mean? It gives it a nice crisp feeling by putting these little bits on. And then I might even put in a shadow. A little bit of a shadow from some of them grassy bits, just a little, some of the ones that are on their own, just a little flick. Just see there's a bit of shadow cast from them. A few little bits here and there. That looks really good. Really pleased with that. Now let me get some of this stuff. This is white. Love using a bit of white paint. That was dead natural there. Put a little bit there. Now this is my own branded white, Matthew Palmer white. It's listed as watercolour.tv. This white is like acrylic, but it doesn't dry. It is a opaque white that you can mix with other watercolours and it doesn't dry permanently. Now, that's quite a useful little statement really when it comes to white paint, because acrylic and gouache dry quite permanent. So here we've got the white. So we'll take a little bit of this and we can use this just to, well, we can do a few things with it. We can tidy up a few little bits and bobs and maybe even add a few more flowers if you feel the need to. I don't think I need to, but areas where I kind of went off piste, I can just repair the fence with a bit of white paint. Look at that. Let's put that corner back in there. So a great way to tidy up corners should you need to. I feel like that one's lost its point. So I can bring the point back in. And little bits of white, just wherever you feel the need to bring a bit of white in. You don't want much. It's just basically repaired a few corners, and I think a few little light spots for some flowers around here would be quite nice as well, just around some of those dark areas. A few little bits of white going up there. Beautiful. Look how nice that is. So just basically adding little flowers. Doesn't want much, does it? Brilliant. Lovely little watercolour vignette there of an old rustic fence. Looks really effective. And of course these kind of vignettes look really nice with a lovely signature. So you can sign it whatever you like. Sign it Van Gogh or Rembrandt, they're worth millions. Don't do that. Now you got some lovely little pretty little watercolour. I love the contrast, the deep powerful contrast of the white, you know, working next door to those areas. And of course if we take the tape away, all of it's even better. That has made a pretty little scene, you know, a greetings card kind of level of painting. It'd look lovely as a watercolour gift tag. And we do actually, I've been painting quite a lot of gift tags recently, and these little gift tags, it's the same paper, little watering can there, a little butterfly. We do sell a complete starter kit on Watercolour TV that's got, you know, all these bits on. It comes with a pack of the watercolour gift tags. It comes with a little USB stick with 7 lessons on. It comes with those essential brushes. It comes with a palette. It even comes with the 3 colours. So have a look around. I'll pop some links in the description for this video. So anything that, you know, kind of takes your fancy, do make sure that you have a look around. And don't forget to take advantage of the discount that we've got running. Remember, we're doing the live workshop tomorrow. But other than that, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching a bit of paint dry. It's been a pleasure to work on that with you. I really enjoyed having a go at that. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and I will see you soon. So I want to say a big bye for now and give you a final call out for what's coming up, which of course is the double watercolour workshop, 15th of August, £12, 24th of August, the red kite, £12. Buy them both together, link in description. You get it for £20. Yours to keep forever. Have a good look online, loads of content on there, but it's all good fun. So bye for now, and I'll see some of you tomorrow. Take care.